And welcome back to the channel where we talk about only good comics. I'm Brant, and this is Friday First. This is that series where we talk about those brand new number one issues, new character debuts, new story arcs, and the like. And we got a little bit of all of those things this episode. So, lots to talk about. This one is for books that are coming out on August 7th, 2024. And yeah, like I said, we got a lot of books to talk about. I think I've got about 11 or so. I got a few recaps and some other anticipated. But before I get into all that, I do want to let you know that this weekend, August 3rd and 4th, I will be at Bell County Comic Con. That's in Belton, Texas. We will be set up in technically the vendor area, but really we're kind of off on our own, kind of adjacent to the vendor area. So if you see the petting zoo, there's a big petting zoo on one side of the hall that we're in. There's several halls that things are taking place in. But if you see the petting zoo and look to your right, you'll see us over there. We'll have the Last Summer Press comics, and we'll have the Loops and Scoops crochet stuff, the puzzles from Torchlight Games, all that stuff. So yeah, if you're in Belton near Temple, if you're close to Austin or Waco, you can get there within a pretty decent amount of time. So come see us. It's a big cast of, or not big cast, but a big group of special guests, both comic related and media related. It is the TMNT Celebration that's going on. So they have a bunch of guests that are TMNT related, like Kevin Eastman, some of the voice actors from the TMNT. I think it's from the movie, maybe from the cartoon. I'm not exactly sure. You got Napoleon Dynamite actors there. You've got different voice actors. You've got Ernie Reyes Jr. from the original live action movies is going to be there. Tatiana Ali from Fresh Prince, and just all kinds of stuff going on. So you can come check us out. I'll actually show you. I think I might have the map open, and I can show you exactly where we're at, so you can be like, "What are you talking about with the crazy petting zoo stuff and all that?" Yeah, here we go. There we go. We are this red box here. See, the petting zoo is over to the left, and we are here at 1040. So if you are at the celebration area, or at the mystery van, all that stuff, and you can make your way over to us. If you're at the petting zoo or the Star Wars costuming clubs and all that stuff, you can make your way. But yeah, we're just concentrated in this little corner, so that should be fun. If you are in the area, come see us, because we'd love to interact with you, love to meet you, and love to share our books and our crochet animals and our puzzles and all that good stuff with you. So come on out and have a good time at Bell County Comic Con in Belton, Texas this weekend. All right. With that all out of the way, and by the way, that is the last show for a while. We've got a bit of a break. I think the next one's not till October, so we've got a little bit of a break, and you won't hear me going on and on about all these shows that I'm going to this year. But anyway, so now let's get into some comics. I've got 3 recaps from the books last week. It's all I've had a chance to read so far of the number one issues. I was hoping to get one more done, but I just couldn't. I still haven't packed, and we're leaving tomorrow. But anyway, the first one I want to talk about is Black Widow Venomous. This is a one-shot that is leading into the Venom War, and it's basically all this issue is Black Widow. God, why am I blanking on her name? Natasha. Kind of getting in step with the symbiote and training the symbiote on how to handle itself if they're separated, or like how to use the human host to its greatest potential, and that kind of thing, and to, because they go on a mission and the symbiote gets scared and runs away and then they can't accomplish the mission. So Natasha brings in her Avenger pals and like puts the symbiote through all this training. So that's basically what this issue was. It was fun and goofy. Is it needed? Is it necessary? No. Did I have fun with it? Absolutely. So it's one of those kind of things. But it gives me hope for the future of this thing, because I wasn't sure, like, why did we have to add a symbiote to Black Widow? She's already cool as is. But the way it's being handled, it's almost like a Spider-Gwen kind of situation where all these little spiders come crawling out of it and all this kind of thing. So and it's kind of neat. I'm curious to see how they play with it going into the Venom War and all that stuff. But it was a fine issue, but not a necessary issue by any stretch. Next, I want to talk about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers: The Darkest Hour. This is the end. This is a one shot as well. This is the end of the Power Rangers, the massive story that they've been telling for years and years through Kyle Higgins, through Ryan Parrott, through Melissa Flores, and now we are at the end of this epic saga. And I thought it was a pretty fitting end. I was, they had the ultimate battle with all the Rangers from various parts of the universe and different galaxies and different timelines and all this stuff coming together to take on Dark Spectre in one big last battle. The grid is shattered, and some people have been erased from history. Some people have been added to it. Nobody knows what's up or what's down, and it leaves the door open so that maybe we can tell future stories and kind of change the game a little bit, especially the way it the last scene that we saw in the book and everything. So really interesting way to close it out. But I thought it was fitting. I thought some characters got closure, some characters had a happy ending, some not so much. But ultimately, it was a nice way to wrap this up and still kind of left it, if you wanted to go back in that timeline and tell stories, you still could. But if you want to move on from that and tell something else, I think you can do that as well. So really fitting. Art was fantastic. As always, Power Rangers books from Boom Studios are always like top notch, top shelf, very good, excellent books. And I was happy to enjoy this final chapter of this run. And lastly, we have X-Force issue number 1. This is the brand new, team led by Forge that he's kind of put together to go out on all these emergency missions and, just try to fix the world, save the world. And in this first one, he's forming the team together. He's been very strategic on who he's brought into this, but for specific reasons. And then Deadpool is brought in for a very specific reason as a guest star in this. And then they kind of meet up with another character, one of the team members that becomes a team member later on in the story, and he decides she's a good fit too, or they're a good fit too, I should say. I didn't want to spoil it, sorry. But there's a lot of women on that cover, so it could be any of them. But yeah, I thought the first mission was fine. They go into a town that's kind of overrun with this mysterious goo, and they have to figure out what it is and why they're there and why they can't find any people and all this stuff. And that's how they come into contact with the other team member and all of that. And then there's still this mystery behind who Tank is, because it's a brand new character and we don't really know who that is. And there's like some hesitation on Betsy Braddock's part, but Rachel Summers is like gung-ho about it and all that. So it's very interesting the way the team came together, and a very very interesting way that Deadpool was utilized in this mission. So it's not really the X-Force maybe that you're used to, but the spirit of, I guess, what brought X-Force together is still kind of there. It's just in a very different vein that this story is going, but I kind of like this team. They're quirky. Like Forge is so super serious and so super focused on the mission at hand, but everyone around him is kind of their temperaments are very different. So Sage, her mind's kind of broken and she's trying to piece herself back together, but she's still very hyperly intelligent. But then you have Rachel, who's a little bit more zealous than I'm used to with her. She's usually a little bit more stoic, but in this book, she's, I don't know, the personalities are popping off the page, and it's an interesting mix of characters. But I enjoyed the first issue, and I'm looking forward to the next. All right, so that's all the recaps I got. So let's get into those books that are coming out next week. First up, we have a new book from Scout Comics called Mission Appleseed. I had not heard about this book, but as I was going through League of Comic Geeks, I saw the description for this and it struck me. So I thought, if I can locate this book, I'll check it out. It says, if you like Star Trek and enjoy Silo, then you'll love Mission Appleseed. Now, I'm not a big Star Trek fan, but mix it with Silo and just kind of the concept that it goes into here is very interesting to me. So there's a big mission to seed the universe, but it's this giant hoax, which kind of plays into the whole Silo thing. I'm very curious to see, where Silo season one left off, and I'm it kind of leads you down that pathway, right? Um, so, and I've not read the book, so I don't know how that ends. So don't nobody spoil it for me. But anyway, so I thought that was interesting to kind of mix a sci-fi bend into the post-apocalyptic kind of thing with this mission and this big hoax and everything, and interesting. So I thought I'd check it out, and I'll put it on here. But I'm going to give it a possibly good. Next up from Image, we have Cal 1964, issue number 1. This is by Kyle Higgins and Alex Siegel. And I never read the original Cal, so I don't really know much about it. At least I don't think I did. I don't remember it if I did. But this is a mini series. It stands for the Chicago Organized Workers League. It's a superhero labor union, and I just think that's a fun concept. And now that I'm more familiar with Kyle Higgins' work, I've read Nightwing and Power Rangers Radiant Black and stuff. I know that I like Kyle Higgins' writing, so I'll check this out, and if I like this well enough, maybe I'll go back and find that original Cal stuff that I'm pretty sure I did not read back in the day. So, but yeah, interesting. They're going national in this one. The old team is scattered, but we'll see what happens in 1964. So I am going to give this one a potentially good, just because I have faith in the creative team. So I'm always a sucker for trying out Cyberforce books. I don't usually stick with them, but Cyberforce Shootout number 1, Top Cow. The thing that caught my interest here was this was by the 2022 Talent Hunt winners, Billy Mogelberg and rising star artist Bruno Abdias debut in the industry with an action-packed tale from the world of Cyberforce. So it's set in this rebirth era of Cyberforce history. Ballistic, they're tracking down Aphrodite 9, who has gone rogue, which is typical. And yeah, so it could be a fun story, but I'm more curious to see how the winners of this contest handle these characters. They are fun characters, very 90s-esque characters, and you never know what could come of that when you bring up a rising talent. So I'm hopeful, and congrats to them for winning the 2022 contest, and hopefully and congrats on getting this book out there, and I'm looking forward to checking it out. But I'm gonna give it a potentially good. Obviously I'm not familiar with their work, but hopefully I will be after this. Next up is Red Before Black, issue 1. This is from Boom Studios, and this is written by Stephanie Phillips, and you all know from the past several weeks that I'm a big Stephanie Phillips fan, and so I try out anything Stephanie writes. And this concept also kind of stood out. It says this tagline, introducing the most unpredictable outlaw couple since Harley and Ivy. I'm already interested just from that alone. But this is about an FBI agent, a disgraced army vet, going on this mission to hunt down this drug runner. And when she does, she finds out that they have this common enemy, and even though they're supposed to be against each other, it seems like maybe they, find this commonality, and we don't know where that's going to lead yet, which direction that's going, but it should be very interesting. And Boom Studios always puts out solid books, so all of those things make me want to give this one a potentially good, and I'm looking forward to checking this one out. Spinning out of the Blood Hunt mini-series, this is Blood Hunters issue number 1. We've got Dagger, Elsa Bloodstone, White Widow, Hallows Eve, that team, that ragtag team that we saw come together during Blood Hunt and Blood Hunters just last week, I think it was. And so now they're together. There's this deadly super vamps of the Blood Coven. Miles Morales is in this book as well, and yeah, you've got Emmanuel Lupacino doing covers. You got Erica Schultz writing it with Robert Robert Gill on art. So yeah, solid team. You got vampires, you got Miles, you got some cool characters involved with this. And if you enjoyed their thread in that Blood Hunters kind of anthology style miniseries from Blood Hunt, then you'll like this. And I did like their particular arc through that book. I like these characters a lot. I like Erica Schultz's writing. So I'm excited for this. And I'm going to give this one a promisingly good because, like I said, I enjoyed those, so I think I'll enjoy this one as well. Next up is another book from Scout Comics called The Dusk, issue number 1, and this is written by Alex Segura, who, Alex Segura has worked for DC, Archie, various places, and he's a good writer as well. So, yeah, I'm excited to check this out. The concept about this is pretty neat. And it's also one of their nonstop books. So they are releasing the first issue, and then immediately after is the entire trade paperback for this. So if you like this first issue, pick up the trade next. But this is basically about a former baseball player. He was a hero of a big, popular baseball player who is now a public defender. But the justice system is just not living up to it. His town is corrupt, and so he gets these superhero tools. He dons a costume and becomes this protector of the city called the Dusk, apparently. So fun concept, fun, just kind of down to earth, kind of your Phantom, your Rocketeer, your Batman type character, Blue Beetle, etc. So yeah, I'm curious to check this one out, and I'm going to give this one I'm going to give it a potentially good. I mentioned the Venom War earlier, and here we are with Venom War issue number 1. I have not been keeping up with Venom and everything that's been going on, so I'm going to kind of go into this cold, so I don't have any expectations on what this is going to be all about. But the Venom symbiote however you want to pronounce that word, has bonded with both Eddie and his son Dylan at different times, and now they're going head to head. And we got this whole Venom War, and you're going to have everybody with the symbiote involved with this. Al Ewing and Ivan Coelho are the creative team on this. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with this, what it's all about, why they're battling each other or anything, but I'm going to check this one out. We'll see how it goes down. But I'm going to give it a potentially good just because I don't know what to expect with this. Next up, we have a double whammy with Avengers 17. This is the start of a brand new story arc for Avengers, but it's also a new team member is joining the team in Storm. Now, we knew this was happening for a while now, but now we are finally here. We're past Blood Hunt, and now we can get down to it with Storm joining the Avengers once again. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We also got a new artist on it, superstar artist Valerio Schiti. I don't know how you pronounce that. Takes the helm here, and yeah, it says the team's roster won't be the only thing shaken up when a deadly threat sets its vengeful sights on Earth. So yeah, I'm really excited about Storm joining the X-Men. The Avengers once again. I'm really curious to see how that gels. And this is such a superpowered team now. This is like Justice League level superpower, right? You've got Captain Marvel, you've got Thor, and you've got Storm, and then you throw in, Scarlet Witch with the chaos magic. You throw in, the intelligence and the skills of Black Panther. You've got Captain America. It's an all-star cast. Vision. These are super high level powered beings on this team, and yeah, I would not want to be anyone going up against them at this point. So I'm looking forward to this one, and I'm giving this one a promisingly good. Next up is a book that Image has been promoting pretty heavily recently called The Power Fantasy. This is by Kieron Gillen, and the concept is pretty neat because there are superheroes in this book, but there are only 6 that exist in the world, and what they mean by superheroes is basically they are as big a threat as a nuclear bomb, and the safety of the world derives from them keeping these 6 superpowered beings from ever being in conflict with one another. and that's where it gets hard. It's kind of like almost kind of like the boys, where the superheroes are so powerful that you kind of have to walk on eggshells around them, and at any second they could just destroy everything, and that's kind of what this is, but in a much more kind of focused down version of that. And I don't know. It sounds interesting. I know that they were really excited about this book, which makes me excited about this book, and I can't wait to check out this first issue and see what I think about it. I'm usually back and forth with Kieron Gillen's stuff. Some of it I absolutely love. Some of it's just not for me. So we'll see what this one is, but it sounds like something I would enjoy. So I'm giving this one a promisingly good, and we'll see what happens with it. Next, they're back together again. We have the Gotham City Sirens back with Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman. And it was phenomenal when they were together in their original series. That was so good, and it's impossible to like top that. And so I don't want to compare this. I don't want to read this and be like, oh, well, it wasn't that. So I'm going to try to go into this with an open mind and just take it as it is. We also have appearances by White Rabbit and Punchline and the Nasty Boys, whoever they are. Different characters are going to pop up in this, and it seems like it's going to be a little bit more cheeky, more humorous than the previous run, and that's fine. It's Leah Williams' story to tell, and either way, I'm always excited to see these characters interact because they have such a bond between the three of them, and it fits. It works in such a way that it shouldn't really, but it does, and it's always fun when they come together, and I can't wait to check this one out. But I'm going to give this one a promisingly good as well. And finally, the long-awaited debut of Uncanny X-Men issue 1 by Gail Simone and David Marquez. I am so excited about this one. Professor X is gone, but now we have a brand new team. Without him, we've got Rogue reluctantly joining the team, and we have a pretty cool team here. I don't remember the team members. Here they are. We got Gambit, Jubilee, Nightcrawler, Rogue, Wolverine, and there's a supporting character named Saturong in this one, apparently. But anyway, Gail Simone writing an X-Men book is just fun. I cannot wait for that. I'm really excited to see the continuation of what the X-Men are post Krakoa. We've already seen like Cyclops team and what they're doing. Now we've got the other side of this with Wolverine and everything, and this is more closer to like the 90s core team here with those characters I mentioned: Rogue, Gambit, Nightcrawler, Wolverine, and Jubilee. So I'm really curious to see how Gail handles these characters together and what their mission is going to be. What's their purpose at this point without that guiding influence, that guiding hand kind of leading them through it? What are they going to be doing? So I'm really interested to see the arc of this book, and I can't wait for that one. So I'm giving this one a promisingly good as well. I was like, oh, should I give it positively good? But just never know. You got to fill it out. So I'm gonna kind of hedge my bets a little bit and take it a step down to promisingly good. But I am excited for this book for sure. And that's it for all the ranked books, all the number one issues and so forth for next week. I do have a few other books that I'm looking forward to that aren't number ones as usual. So I'll run through those real quickly. We have Public Domain issue number 7, especially after reading The Domain, which I really enjoyed. And the lead into that with issue 6, I'm excited to see where this series goes, and if it kind of gives us any more hints towards the other book, if that continues. I don't know. I'm kind of invested in this world at this point now. Space Ghost issue number 4 is another one that I'm excited about. I've enjoyed, all 3 previous issues so far, and they're continuing their battle or their investigation into RoboCorps and trying to figure out what's going on there. And it's been a fun ride so far, and I can't wait to read this next issue and see what David Pepos has in store for Space Ghost and the kids going forward. I'm along for the ride, for the long haul. Next is Ain't No Grave #4 as well, and Ryder washes up on the shores of this mine and finds herself dealing with her past, present, and future in actually a silent issue. So that's going to be interesting. Silent issues are hard to pull off, but Scotty Young can do it, I'm sure. So I'm curious to see how this one plays out. Next is Shazam, issue #14, and Billy is missing. Nobody knows where he is, but can Freddie and Mary, handle the monsters in his absence? And Billy is refusing to turn into the captain when they do find him and everything. So is all this craziness going around where the captain and Billy are at odds with each other over this whole thing, and they're battling all these monsters. And it's been a fun arc, so I've been enjoying it. Then, of course, we have Absolute Power issue #2. I really enjoyed the first issue. I've been enjoying the tie-ins as well. But yeah, it's exciting with Amanda Waller having all the power and all these Mazos that are sucking all the abilities together, up from all the heroes and stuff. And this whole story, I keep talking about the way that it was built up over months and months and months, and now it's come to a head, and it's been everything I hoped it would be so far. We're only an issue in so far. We got a lot to get through before this is all over. But if it keeps going at this pace and this route, I'm going to keep enjoying it. And lastly, we have Scarlett issue #3. I love G.I. Joe. And if it's G.I. Joe, I'm going to read it. I'm going to love it. I'm going to enjoy it. I think the first 2 issues of this book were really strong. Still not my favorite of the ones they've released so far, but it's definitely I just love the characters in this book, and I'm excited to see them at every turn. So anytime you put G.I. Joe on the cover, I'm paying attention. So Scarlett is one of my most anticipated. But that's it. That's all the books I got to talk about. Got a lot to do tonight, so I'm going to wrap it up here. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I kind of went through it a little bit quicker than usual, or at least it felt like it to me as I was recording it. But hopefully you enjoyed it all the same. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like, whatever you want to call it. It really does help the channel, helps the algorithm, helps all that good stuff. And, it just, when you check your notification, you got likes on your video. It's a nice feel. Okay, it's a nice feeling. But anyway, if you want to see more content like that, you want to see more episodes of this show, definitely hit that subscribe notification bell so you don't miss any of that content. And of course, you can follow me across social media at Only Good Comics. Type in onlygoodcomics.com to take you right back to this YouTube channel where we talk about what? Only good comics. Until next time, thanks for watching. Take care. Keep reading those comics, and I'll see you soon.